there are like, there's a reason why all these like escape artists and shit, like they put themselves in deadly situations, but under no circumstances are they like stuck there and almost die.
He could have broken his neck, right?
Like, the Prestige is not where you're like fucking dying. Yeah.
Didn't Houdini die of?
I don't know how he died. It was mind manipulation. That was the magic. He never said he was gonna survive. What? The magic is that he got Kai to assist him in his suicide. Yeah. I guess that was supposed to be the mind read. I knew you were gonna go pull the red rope. That's why they told Kai to leave and go upstairs. Kai went upstairs, found a note from Max to click on the YouTube video. The YouTube video was about how he knew. Okay, but that's like, there's probably a better way to do that. Your PSA episode is out. Wait, already? Damn, they released it the night of? That's crazy. Normally, the payoff is you appear somewhere else and magically you're not actually harmed. Yeah, not just by hanging there by the neck and the emergency crew has to get you out. Oh, this is funny. Kai Cenat hung a white man on stream. He's the greatest of all time. How would you feel if a white person hung a black person? Brother, sit down. Let me tell you about the 1800s. That's okay. Okay. It's still traumatic, by the way. That's crazy.
Dude, what the fuck?
Damn.
Damn, it's only got 39 likes. You fell off, bro.
I know. It's over. It's over.
Dude, it's so fucking over. 200
so
views.
Over.
Fucking
I'm done.
L.
I'm done. It's over. My career is over. I'm washed. I'm washed. I'm washed. I'm washed.
L.
History teacher looking ass. I like your fit. Thank you. Oh, there's a Seth Moulton interview too, which is funny because they gave Seth Moulton what, like 20 minutes.
Who's Seth Moulton?
Seth Moulton's that Democrat who was like, my daughter is a transphobe.
Wait, what?
Remember after the election, he was like, my daughter hates trans people.
Wait, why would he?
She's afraid of trans people in college. That's what he said.
Wait, was this like one of them pandering to the right or something like that?
Yeah. He's one of those Democrats who was like, yeah, I called him a coward, a charlatan, and a hack in the interview.
On this episode?
Yeah, knowing that he was going to be interviewed after.
That's awesome. Was he interviewed live?
Oh, he called him a dick?
20-minute interview with the New York Times and talked about a lot of places where I think the Democrats are out of touch or just not trusted on issues. And they picked out this quote about trans women in sports. But I do think it was a problem that Harris really just didn't even have a response to this vicious, hateful ad that honestly, Republicans clearly had data to say it was successful because they put $200 million.
Okay, we'll get to this in a second. This is some crazy primo react content.
I bet his response was that he thinks Democrats should have said we're gonna ban more trans people in sports.
Yeah, no, it's great.
We're gonna invent his solution to ban trans people from.
His solution was like the thing that the Democrats didn't do, they should have done even less of, and also they should have actively been undermining trans people. Like they should have just been running around being like, I hate trans people, I hate them. Anyway, let's keep going.
You need to use logic in your brain and call things off. I'm not saying Kai is a bad guy, but he needs to be held accountable.
What do you
and
mean?
Kai Cenat
What does anyone ever mean when they say he needs to be held accountable? I hate this. I hate this so much. And someone will clip this and go, Hasan hates accountability. Okay. Explain what you mean. What do you mean? People say this all the time. It was the most annoying shit that liberals used to say in like the 2016 social justice era. Okay. And like, and now the right wingers say it all the time too. And I guess like Gamergate, like right wingers would also say this all the time too. It's like accountability for what? Accountability for what? Okay. It's not just how someone must be held accountable. You have to also respond to the why. Like what is the wrongdoing here? Does there need to be some level of deterrence? Like, oh yeah, Kai Cenat, you can't hang white people on your stream anymore. Is that the fucking accountability? Like what do you mean? He was like, damn, I really like this. I was gonna do this over and over again, actually. Anyway. It's just, I don't know. People just say it. It really fucking annoys me. I'm sure that there's a valid thing out there for in terms of like accountability for Kai Cenat, you know. But magicians should be arrested for attempted self-harm, illegal in most states. I don't even think that should happen. Okay, what the fuck? Why do people like?
Maybe I'm getting old. I just don't care as much.
I don't either. I just
I know. Is it this what getting older like? I just don't have time.
Yeah, no, the woke.
Like I woke up,
the woke children. The woke children.
Dude, like
are at it again.
I woke up and my hip hurt, and I was like, oh, I don't give a shit. I
Yeah.
just don't give a shit.
Yeah, accidentally muted the fucking video because I got so mad. I'm not saying Kai's a bad guy, but he needs to be held accountable. And the glazing I see on my timeline of people saying I feel bad for him, etc., is sad. He's a grown man.
Like
With a
how
full-
much energy? Like
with a full crew behind him, no excuses. Stop the glazing. Yeah, the people glazing Kai also need to be held accountable. Accountability matters.
dude, but like how much energy do you have to fucking have? Is this person's job?
Like,
Or
like I
I mean,
understand.
I can't really talk about
the
working.
thing, the
but,
thing that I do
you know,
understand is like Kai does have a massive audience. A lot of them are kids. Like that is a traumatic thing for children to see.
This is
100%.
4
You're
a.m..
correct. Okay, but you know, you don't think the production team knew a part of this for the fact that it was streamed to teens? Yeah, I just like. I definitely think he should have pulled out when he saw the gallows. I'm sure if given the opportunity, if he had the hindsight, he probably would. It's just that, like, in the mindset, I try to put myself in the shoes of the person who is the responsible party here, or seemingly the responsible party here. And in that circumstance, I'm like, there are a lot of, like, in an effort to, like, make the most engaging and entertaining content, you probably are like, I am going to leave this in the hands of the responsible parties, right? And in that process, you're supposed to not know what the fuck is going on, okay? You're supposed to not know what the fuck is going on. And I suspect that he probably didn't think that the dude would straight up hang himself. I can't believe he did that. Like there had to have been a payoff. You know what I mean?
sometimes things like this happen in live entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah. We here in the live entertainment business know.
Yeah, we know certain
Yeah,
things
last
have happened.
time, guys, you don't even understand. Last time he tried to hang me.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah, he was like,
Hasan
name your
didn't-
price.
Yeah, yeah.
Name your price here. We're gonna do a
Hang your
simulated.
price.
We're
Hang
gonna
your
do.
price.
We're gonna do a simulated live hanging.
Yeah, the first ever live hanging. I mean, we
Yeah.
do need to up the ante. We had live childbirth this year
Yeah.
at TwitchCon.
Yeah.
Live wedding, live childbirth. Next year is
They
Yeah.
have tons of thousands of kids, young adults, and more watching these streams. Lots of
He needs to be held
lots of them probably suffering from some sort of
and
mental health.
Cenat had someone almost break their neck for his enjoyment, and his first words are, "I might get banned." And this is people saying,
This homophobic pig deserves everything bad that
and this
happens.
is people saying that because of this and other recent
think we need to
controversial
chill
elements of
just
his
a little
stream,
bit.
he should be banned. With other creators like XQC even chiming in.
That's just weird. Imagine inducing like mental torment on people. Like, oh, dude, you pulled the wire and you just killed somebody. Oh, it's a sticky note. It's just a prank.
And with this, understand you do have people defending Kai, saying, he didn't know it was gonna.
Wait, excuse me saying this is so funny because he just literally gambles the children on a regular basis. But hey, I mean, he's not wrong when he says that. It's just kind of funny that, it doesn't transcend to, I guess it doesn't cross over to other stuff that you're doing. Kai took gambling sponsors too. He did. Oh my God, everyone is the worst. He took a DraftKings sponsor when half his community is below 18. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, yeah, that is not appropriate at all. And I don't even like that Twitch also has DraftKings sponsorships. For the record,
is that a bad? So I shouldn't take that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
this guy's a fucking magician. How is anyone making it seem like he's some kind of victim in this? Yeah, that's the other part of this process that like I don't understand, because when they fucking make it when they're like yelling at Kai Cenat over it, which when they're yelling at Kai Cenat over it, it's like, okay, you're making it seem like this dude was like, oh, you almost killed me. I didn't think you would do that. To be fair, all magicians are victims of life. First of all, I love the people correcting me and saying, illusionist! If you watch the full thing, Kai and his team did not know that Max was doing this prank. Kai Cenat was set up. A black man is being successful in an industry that is dominated by white males, and they hate that. Ever since he's been breaking records, y'all want to cancel him. I mean,
look, y'all.
I don't think the guy was like a secret white supremacist. He wasn't like, yeah, I'm gonna. Like, I think he's just a clout shark. Like, I think he's just a cloud
An
shark.
undercover white supremacist is crazy.
Yeah, he's just a guy who wanted to make a big name for himself, I think, and
A Nazi
he took it too far, you know. Like, I feel like everyone analyzing the situation is looking at it in a very weird way. Yeah, he was a wizard, a grand wizard. Yeah.
Oh shit.
saying, you know, he didn't know it was going to happen. He got set up.
What happened is not Kai Cenat's fault. Let me see what this says. He had no idea what Max's plan. His team got told different that was going to happen. He doesn't even think the situation is funny. He tried checking in on Max. It's not on Kai.
He got set up. Some think that Max was intentionally.
Yeah, surprising a black man with a noose in his backyard is crazy. I understand it. Like I get the crazy the crazy racialized dynamics here at play. It's like, you know, that is wild. I feel like the magician dude Max Major knew exactly what he was doing. He had an ulterior motive. Shaking my head. They're trying to sabotage Kai Cenat. Bro, I know the CIA fell off, okay? But I doubt that, like, the institutions that formerly assassinated Fred Hampton, like the FBI, are actually, you know, trying to run these new tricks on people with McDonald's and Nike sponsorships, okay? Like I get where people are coming from. Like, and I'm sure there's plenty of people who hate that Kai Cenat is at the top of this industry as a black person, and I'm sure that upsets a lot of racists and hurts their feelings. But I just don't think that, you know, this is not like a deep state activity. They're trying to take down Kai Cenat by triggering Twitch's terms of service, like the revolutionary Maoist vanguard that was supposed to be built by Kai Cenat. Illusions, not tricks. Are you guys joking, or are there this many card-carrying members of the fucking Magic Castle in the chat who keep repeating this take over and over again? I can't tell.
Sabotaging him. So there, we've seen some pushing back, speculating that every element was staged. With this, you know, others are more mad at Max, calling him out in his YouTube comments, saying that he owes Kai and his viewers an apology for this prank.
Oh, sorry.
As far as my opinion, I'm not inside Kai Cenat's brain. I don't know if he was in on it or not. It seems crazy that he would do it, but I also do not.
I know it's an Arrested Development bit. That's where I'm fucking making a joke about. That's why I'm saying Magic Castle, which is a real place. I know
him as a person, but
Is
I do
that
find myself
Democratic
agreeing with the
Congressperson
argument that
rocking a
even
comb
just
over
seeing
because
the setup for this would have been enough to kill this, right? I mean that either way you look at it. One, purely on Max's side, right? I think just as a concept, fake accidental hanging prank, fucking loser of a concept, as well as then on the other end, the 50-50 will he get hung challenge, insane concept. Like, I cannot imagine how hard it is to come up with new.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Philly is sitting on the fence on this, but like I kind of get where he's coming from. Because on the one hand, like I do not find myself on either side of this like firmly. Okay. Yeah, no, this is one of those things where it's like I don't think that Kai Cenat personally was like, yeah, it'll be sick. He's gonna fucking be hanged or anything. But the very likelihood that that it was still there and it did end up happening is like still pretty bad. But overall, I assume that there's a number of different ways that plays out, and I suspect that he did not think that it would end up with him being like this magician guy being fucking hanged.
New interesting ideas for 30 days straight of nonstop streaming. But I mean, just like, holy shit, what a spectacular disaster. You know, with that, I gotta ask, what are your thoughts?
What? HasanAbi being normal, calling black people savage and shit? Wait, what? What are you saying?
Here, and also let me know if you're familiar with Kai or not. What are your thoughts on the people alleging that Kai was in on it or not? Also, if you didn't know, what are your thoughts about him even participating once he saw the setup? Or with the situation, do you end up falling in the camp of seeing Kai as the victim here? He trusted someone that did something fucked up. Let me know what you're thinking and why.
They may be hearing things.
Oh, Asmon also defended Kai from Asmongold defended him.
Sensitive? People not get.
Thank God Monica Huld is in here saying, whose side are you on? I don't know. Her titties are saying both sides, but she seemingly is also wondering, we got to pick a side.
Getting sensitive. They just want to see somebody get banned because they don't like him. Like LSF has hated Kai forever. Like they've always hated Kai.
That
like
image
every
is
time
crazy,
there's a
bro.
positive Kai
That
post,
image is crazy. That's a crazy image.
It's like begrudgingly like, yeah, I guess you.
The one thing is that he did look fucking shredded.
I did notice that first.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I was like, damn, this magician is fucking
I was like, who's this
shredded.
rip guy? Oh my God, he's hanging from a rope.
Yeah.
That was the
Works really
first.
hard.
That's the first
You know,
thing.
like, yeah, they fucking
Like,
hate
wow,
him.
look at those abs. Oh my God, holy shit, he's hanging. What happened?
Illusionist!
So like they're always waiting. They're like, oh my God, please do something wrong so we can try to get you banned.
It is kind of crazy for Asman to have his take, though. Like, I would not have expected it. I feel like he would have gone against the wishes of his Reddit, and he didn't. It seems like I feel like his Reddit probably didn't appreciate that. So respect to Asman. He will pop off sometimes like this. Anyway, what about them literally taking a dude hostage after? Like, talk about insane preferential treatment if he doesn't get banned. He took a dude hostage. What the fuck?
Wait, who?
Who took a dude hostage? The magician he's still causing chaos. Turns out the magician also took a dude hostage on stream.
Wait, who did he take hostage?
What did he do? This guy's a menace.
Who took who hostage?
Oh, Kai did? Kai Cenat now gotten the magician's friend and not allowed him to leave till the magician comes back who pretended to hang himself on stream.
Okay, wait, hold on. You know, that's stop playing. I'm not.
Okay, we have a very different opinion on being held hostage. I think, like,
It's not a joke. Hold on.
So how do you want me to do this?
You laughing too. I see you laughing.
I'm not laughing.
But look, just call him back because it's not a joke.
How can I call him?
Gang, so he's not, gang, you can't leave until you know, because you're his right-hand man, correct? You was coming in and out the room every time we told you to. You set this whole shit up with him, gang. Just please, I'm asking you from human to human. I gave y'all a chance last year to come on my shit.
Sure.
And I brought y'all back. And the fact that he can't show me respect enough to come back to the house and explain to the people what happened.
they dragged him in? That's crazy.
No, but I said, Kai said, they said, we can't be on camera. He's right in front.
Who can't be on camera?
They can't.
I think there is something incredibly funny about Sexy Red and her crew being a part of this entire process that actually hits it cinema, okay? It's because like whenever I saw other clips, and I don't know if it was like before or after, and I feel like you know, Kai Cenat was like upset or something, and then Sexy Red would just like twerk. Couldn't have happened with a better person as a guest on the show that night, okay? And like I said, I don't know if she was twerking after the traumatic incident or before the traumatic incident. It was after? She was twerking after? What the fuck? Wait, I need to show you the video to lighten the mood.
Also on camera pushing us out. Now y'all can't be on camera.
They lying.
So what's going on?
Let's jump. Come on, y'all. I'm trying to jump.
Let's
Jack, we're gonna jump back.
Twerking is my panic response.
Wait.
I love the crew. Like the dedication the production staff has to this is like they're following everybody around as this is going on and filming everything.
I mean, that's good. That's good content.
Yeah,
right
you keep it rolling.
The fucking cameras
you keep
rolling.
it fucking rolling while he's
the
hanging.
you keep the fucking cameras.
No,
on.
that was the thing
This
though.
Is like fucking reality
the cameraman
TV
was
shit,
filming
man.
it, and like I did see that part. That's why I'm saying like I don't think he was like I don't think he was fully on board with what was happening, because his first reaction was like, dude, put the camera down. What the fuck are you doing? Like he literally did try to move the camera away as soon as he. You know,
I mean, the cameraman's just doing his job.
Came to terms with what was going on. Yeah, no, I understand. I'm not blaming the cameraman at all.
Oh shit, is he running?
I don't know what's happening.
That's what he want. I'm saying that's what he want, though.
D versus the tank, appreciate it. He finessed. He finessed.
Watch a clip of him being
He got him some little followers.
Chat.
pulled by his jacket.
No more magic on this motherfucker, chat. The only thing is like
what?
Where the broom at, Kai?
What the broom?
Where the broom?
What broom?
So we can sweep the glass.
That's good. The cleaners will clean it.
Wait, I went too far? No, I didn't. This is the time code. No, here. Kai Cenat and his security team run to find someone from Max Major's team while he was trying to escape. Bro, I guess he wasn't the best illusionist after all. Escape artist, get it?
Yeah, I get
like
it.
he couldn't escape.
I get it.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wait, hold up. Oh shit.
That's okay, dude. You can't do that. That's dude. Why do security guys always do this shit?
They think that they because they're security they can just do everything.
You can't do that. You have
just
like
do everything.
You literally have less. You have more legal liability. Okay, you can't do this.
And a cop couldn't even do that.
Well, okay, come on. I wouldn't go that far. No, that's what I think. Though
mean, they at least have to read something.
No,
right?
security guards always fucking act like they're cops. That's what I'm saying. Like they have like bouncers literally. Yeah, bouncers literally fucking behave like they could just like bounce someone off the fucking pavement. Like you can't do that, man. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, you can't.
Stop. Hold on. Be serious, dog.
You can't do that shit.
Was you there last year?
Yo, he's an ass at escaping. Like actually, not me. I would have booked it. I would have been out of there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Timestamp of them catching him, dude. You can't do that. You can't do. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Oh, that's funny. You looked away when he slammed him in the seat. No, I saw it.
Sit in the middle.
Me?
Yes.
I was with you guys down there.
You was you and me last year?
With you last year, yeah.
You was?
Yeah, I saw
So you know how I let him have a chance on my shit.
And he said that's his phone. Yeah.
You know that's his
And he got
phone.
Mac's phone.
He can't come back until you can't leave until he come back, bro. I'm dead ass.
I'm trying to
human and human.
I understand.
I'm not playing.
I understand.
Relax, let me speak.
Just like Kai talk.
I'm dead ass, bro. Stop doing that.
I understand.
You tried to leave just now.
No, I'm just getting.
Word of my mother, you tried to leave.
You tried to leave.
The fuck are you talking about?
Word of my mother's running
My
the
car
hill.
is parked in front of your house.
We said, yo, can you speak to Maxie back? You got Max's phone. We said, don't leave. You started.
Okay, chat. Stop being fucking legal eagles up in this bitch. Okay, not every interaction. I mean, yes, some things are crimes, but they can be managed without it, involving law enforcement. Why the fuck is everyone a goddamn prosecutor in the chat all of a sudden? Okay. This is turning into the fucking Will Smith slap equation once again. This community immediately just like loses sight of normal analysis and like normal human interaction. Yes, what that security guard did was fucked up and inappropriate and unacceptable. Just because something actually fits the legal definition of a fucking kidnapping doesn't mean that this is like it should be prosecuted as such. Okay, calm down. Lamau is your community though. Yeah, Lamau, I'm also, trying to course correct a little bit. All right. I do think it's annoying, especially because the manhandling shit is really fucking whack. Chat has prosecuted transnational gangs. You don't understand. I know.
Run down the hill. Hey, you
Yeah, chat's pulling this shit. He could have killed him. That's pure out of control rage and violence. They've heard a million jokes about them in the last 3 decades. They are not freshmen in the world of Hollywood and comedy. He lost his mind. It is really fucked up that the security guard like detained him. Okay, you have no legal jurisdiction there. Okay, what the fuck? Stop blaming everyone for what a few rad libs say.
Yeah, Hasan. Getting 3-guyed.
I am. Sexy Red also snorted coke on camera. Listen.
So did Trump Jr.
Absolutely allergic to critiquing anyone with a substantial audience. This is why no one takes you seriously. Yes, you're right. I think you should reach out to CNN and tell them that I am not offering a substantive critique on the Cenat situation, and therefore they should not have taken me seriously on the primetime news slot that they afforded to my political commentary. Remove yourself from the horse blinders that you have over some utterly inconsequential bullshit that you feel is directly the most important thing in your life.
Oh, yeah, let's analyze everything he's fucking said in here. Forever. Huh?
Look, so settlers are allowed to live on stolen land? What are you trying to restart leftovers, or just want to appear more lib? These are lukewarm lib-coated takes to get him
his fucking
on
ass.
shit pod save. Personally, I would have fluffed up a bit. That one friend who's too woke, I know, dude. Don't take everything super seriously, okay? I'm hoping that you can be a little bit more normal. All right. Bro, this guy's making me rethink I need to improve my bait. He's not baiting. This person is like, okay, you know what? Hold on. You, my friend, have been awarded the wokest of the day. Congratulations. This is a new award I have where sometimes people will be like,
The wokest?
yeah, you've done it. You've hit it. You've hit the angle. Not like utterly unserious Twitch drama being represented as something so significant that like nobody takes you seriously. First of all, I have criticized Cenat plenty of times, as a matter of fact, on criticism-worthy instances. That is part of the reason why he, doesn't really fuck with me all that much. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, the notion that I don't criticize people with massive followings is the funniest fucking thing of all time, especially considering that virtually every single top content creator on Twitch and their audiences despise me, specifically because I have criticized them in righteous moments, as a matter of fact, like XQC, or even Asmongold's audience who despises me for criticizing him, Dr. Disrespect, Nick Merckx, okay?
Is he still chirping about trans people in
You know
sports?
what was funny? Yeah, he is. You know what was funny?
That's like his.
I was talking
he's
to
a
Dean about
one-issue
this.
voter.
I was talking to Dean about this in Texas, where he was like, "Dude, you have a very different situation where you have government ops." That's what's funny about this, where motherfuckers think I'm afraid of like a large content creator when I have fucking congresspersons as my ops. What the fuck are you saying? Wake up, dumbass! Like, I can't go back to Turkey. Stupid.
That's kind of funny how I can go there. Do you think they'd let me in?
Yes, especially if you want to get hairline reconstruction surgery.
Well, hold on now. Why are you airing?
I'm just saying, like,
why are
if
you
that's
airing out my
if
drama
that's
like that?
If that's a thing that you
Why
would
you
want to,
why are you putting me out like that in front of everybody?
you know.
Look. Yes, I am open. I will probably reconstruct my hairline at some point.
Yeah, dude. This is the funniest thing that has ever happened, by the way, as a consequence of this. After magician Major Max pranked Cenat with a dangerous magic trick tonight, Cenat has decided to ban all magicians from his future
That's
stream.
a very bold.
He put a ban on magic. No more magic. Harry Potter, no shot.
Wait, hold on. Show that. What's that picture? Wait, I don't know if that's against the rules to show the
Yeah,
photo
I don't
again.
want to, hyper focus on that.
I wasn't
Yeah,
allowed
I
to
saw-
watch Harry Potter as a kid.
Wait, really? I
Yeah.
saw a Connor tweet that was really funny about it. Hold on, where? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Connor eats pants once again. The dark arts have no place on Twitch. Thank you, Cenat, for stepping up.
Oh, the dark art.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, this was after, by the way, Con trying to be serious. Oh, this was what I was talking about. This was what I was talking about.
I wouldn't even joke like that.
Damn, man. Fuck my man.
Twitch.
Oh my.
He's like, thank you for the 5 gifted. Meanwhile, Sexy Red is just showing her ass. Oh, dude. This is what I needed to do. I needed to do a subathon in the month leading up to the election.
You probably could do a subathon. That's your life anyway.
Yeah. And
You know how you do a subathon, Hasan?
What?
You literally do what you do now, except you just put a camera in your room.
Yeah, that's what it would.
Literally that you could
That's
do
what
a
it'd be.
subathon.
That's what I'm saying. I
You
should have
could
done
do
a
a year
subathon, and I'm
subathon.
talking about like, I'm talking about Israel bombing Gaza, and then you have to like show your abs and just like dance in the corner while I'm doing that, and also simultaneously saying thank you for the gifted. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's pretty funny. I mean, the juxtaposition is hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of stuff happened. I don't think it's that serious overall, but it is a fucked up situation. Okay. Show Arrested Development clip. No,
I didn't get super involved in this because
Kai's sad face surrounded by ass is so funny. That's what I'm saying. Like,
it didn't spike. I don't know. It just didn't get me. I don't know. Is anybody else? It just didn't interest me enough to care one way or another. I don't know.
No. It was interesting, like a car crash. Yeah, like it was.
I don't even know. I didn't even know. I couldn't care that much about it. I don't know why. I just couldn't bring myself to have an opinion. at all.
They traumatized Sexy Red. It's serious.
But I do feel like I do feel like that's a reflection of my age, because I have noticed, like, now that I'm 31, I feel like something has changed and I just don't care as much anymore. Maybe I'm depressed, or it's just getting older.
Mr. Beast, Asmongold, now Kai, third bigwig streamer that gets a pass from me in the last 2 months. When has Mr. Beast ever gotten a pass? Especially in the last, what are you, dude, why do I do commentary? You know what? I'm gonna shut it off. Okay. There you go, guys. Now you can fantasize about what my position is. There's no reason for me to do commentary on anything, honestly, because you've already decided you've already hallucinated what my position is on any number of different things. Fuck it.
Oh my God. You know what I realized?
What?
Why I'm like, don't care anymore about many things.
What? Because Trump is president?
There's that, but like I was so obsessed with the election for like a year. Like, I need to refine my life's purpose again.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. I had like an entire regimen routine. I would get in, I would consume the news. I'd read about stories. I'd track the polls. You know what I mean? And now there's no polls to track and everything is lost and we're all going to die. And I just feel very doomer. I need to like find life's purpose again now that the election's over.
I like that. I also, in that chatter's mind, I actually did not have a 2-hour conversation with Asmongold where I tried to gently walk him through the steps of why it was like, gently walk him through the, oh, Donnie just texted me. Gently walk him through the steps of why what he said was like super racist.
Well, yeah, but these people choose like little things.
But nah,
yeah, you're getting one guide or 3 guide.
Anyway, okay, let's move on from the Kai Cenat incident. I did my Kai Cenat situation is crazy video. You know what I mean? There you go. There you have it. What else? Oh, the Sexy Red. The Sexy Red aspect of the story was also really funny because apparently she was caught on candid camera, maybe doing something, which she said was not the thing you think she's doing, you know? Yeah, here it is. Here's this.
Come on, more knots. Make it. Give me one. Give me one. Let me go through right here. All right, boom. Make that shit tight. You supposed to been going through. Come on. No, you gotta make it tight. Nah, you should make it. Listen, you make it. Come on, come tight.
Come on.
I mean, I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care. Wow, I can't believe it.
Wait, did she just admit to it?
No, she said she was rolling wood. Like she was marijuana.
Wait, there was nothing. What are you talking about?
No, you don't understand. Is a different type of. A woman would never lie. Are you saying? It's called believe women.
You know what? Sexy Red, I believe you.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe you.
I mean, maybe
marijuana is legal, and that's exactly what you were doing. That's how I smoke my marijuana through my nose too.
Dude, what the fuck's the production team doing, by the way? They're like tracking her too. They should have zoomed in. Oh yeah, the compression on the video does make it look weird. Yeah, it's the compression on the video.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, if Donald Trump Jr. can do it, so can she. That's all I can say.
It's funny because it was 20 minutes before the guy hanged himself and the main cam had them tying him up.
Oh, man. It's an illusionist.
She licked the paper. She rolled a blunt, man. Yes, I agree with you. She's definitely licking a paper. And that's what she's doing. That's not a baggie. That's not.
No, I believe her.
That's not a bag. I believe her. That's not a baggie.
I believe her too.
Yeah. She's an illusionist.
I believe her.
Yeah, believe all women. Okay. Come on. Yeah, this is the last
Job,
part.
Michael's oldest brother.
So, this is the magic trick, huh?
Illusion, Michael. Trick is something a whore does for money.
Or it can be.
Job recently started the Alliance of Magicians, an organization that blackballs any performer who reveals a magician's secret.
Yeah. Wait. And now Kai Cenat is a part of that organization. He's blackballing all magic. Did you see the China Arcane edit? I suspect that the straight up girl on girl sexual intercourse does not exist.
Are you still in this fight, Violet? I am the dirt under your nails, Cupcake.
Wait, hold on. Go back to that part. Can you go back to the part where does she lean?
She's like leaning into nothing. She's just going, hey.
Okay, here, keep playing it.
Are you still in this fight, Violet? I am the dirt under your nails, Cupcake.
Look at what she fall over.
It's gonna clean me out.
Ginema. Dude, don't show this to Republicans. They're going to love this shit. They're going to be like, we need Chinese style censorship right now. They're taking homosexuality out of video games. Yeah. Isn't this what the anti-wokes want? Isn't this what they want? Wait, why are they showing this last part? There's nothing different in this last part. Yeah, this is the amount of like girl on girl action that is excellent.
How do they edit this?
They just didn't show any of the gay stuff, I think. I assume that they just like they just completely took that part out. Because there's like she eats her out.
What?
Yeah, straight up.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't watch it. Is this anime?
Arcane, yeah, it's really good.
I don't really
it's
watch
so
anime.
fucking good.
I just there's a new...
I heard that they also were gonna do like way more like unrestricted gay sex. No, I'm not even kidding. Like they were
as opposed to what?
As opposed to like her just eating her pussy. I think they were gonna show like I assume like they would have shown like nipples and shit. Maybe like sucking on them a little bit, you know. But they just like kind of show her going down and like.
Were you hoping for more?
I mean, it would have been. I would have hated
for a little
it.
nipple
What, you
action?
think I'm homophobic? I love that shit.
No,
dude.
I know.
Inject it into my veins. You know,
No, I know.
don't give a fuck.
I know. Do you think it would have helped the story a little bit more?
No, I think not that they've shown thus far.
Like I don't know. Like, do you think that China cutting out the scene of her eating her pussy do you think that impacted?
No, it didn't.
Like,
It
do
didn't.
you walk away with a different story, or do you feel something different when you walk away from that story?
The
if
creator
you missed
said that
the eating your pussy part.
The creator said that they let the studio make the scene without riot input, and what they got back was
I don't know
French
why
people.
I'm advocating for them to cut out the. I don't know why I'm being
No,
homophobic.
it doesn't.
I'm just curious.
It like definitely narratively doesn't do anything else. Even though they are in a like gay relationship.
Next time when
And
they do,
Caitlyn has sex with like another girl as well. She betrays
Yeah.
Vi for a little bit. Like she's on some rebound shit. So
Okay.
like, she does get some rebound pussy. Which
no,
you know,
this is what needs to happen. Okay, the next time they make this show, okay, they need to deliver a very critical part of the story while she's eating her pussy.
it is a bit
So
fan
she needs to
service.
be like going down on her and then like say
Yeah.
I love you for the first time in the middle of eating her pussy. So like China can't cut that out.
Yeah. Also, the real homosexuality featured was the relationship between
That's
Victor
not a
and
spoiler.
Jace.
I don't know. I haven't fucking watched this
He
shit.
doesn't. He doesn't know what the
I don't
fuck he's
fucking
talking
know.
about.
If that happened, then I'm sorry. But that's exactly
the real
what should happen.
gay love that was occurring was actually happening behind the scenes, where they didn't show it because they're fucking cowards. But it was Jason and Victor. They were gay as hell, dude. Holy shit, they were so gay.
Like man gay?
Yeah. No, yeah. Victor and Jace, yeah, they're both men.
Nice. What were they doing specifically?
Yeah, they just had a bromance that was definitely beyond. They also embraced each other a little bit, you know?
Dude, I cannot exist in like very like I went to a last Christmas break, I went to a what are those line dancing bars?
Like cowboy bars? Or something?
Yeah, dude. And the amount of like fragile masculinity in one room is so, I just can't handle it anymore. I just can't do it. It's so, everybody's so just afraid to look gay. The entire group of people, like they're trying, everybody is putting every piece of like every ounce of effort not to look gay or not to be perceived as gay. It's so painful to be around these people. Everybody's got the same fucking black, blacked out American flag with the fucking like light army green with the tight acid wash jeans and the fucking stupid cowboy boots. Like I so badly want to call these people the F slur so bad. I think we need to bring it back. I know I've been saying this for a long time. We need to bring it back, and we need to call those people the F slur. Wait, oh shit, I'm on Twitch. I can't be saying this on Twitch. I'm a homosexual. And I forgot that we're on Twitch and we're not on the podcast.
I know.
I'm
You're
so sorry.
spitting, dude. You're spitting. Savor the pod.
I'm so sorry.
Savor the pod.
So
all
sorry.
All right. Speaking of the Dems and homophobia, here it is. My appearance on Pod Save America. I can't believe they posted this in full, by the way. That's crazy.
Welcome to Pod Save America. I'm John Lovett, and guest hosting with me today is the massively popular streamer Leftist Dumbass himself. You just self-described.
That's okay, sure, fair. I say himbo, but damn.
Okay. Hasan Piker, welcome back.
It's good to be back. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
After my conversation with...
Whoa, you're being...
No, I saw the
you
ankles.
clocked him. You clocked him immediately.
Hasan, you'll hear my conversation with Seth Moulton. We talked about the Democratic Party. We talked about the controversy over his comments around trans athletes.
Nothing wrong with being
also
gay.
on the feed right
Okay.
now, you can hear Dan's conversation with Jen O'Malley Dillon, Quentin Fulks, David Plouffe, and Stephanie Cutter about what went wrong in the Harris campaign. We're having a bunch of conversations about what we learned from the election, where we go from here, with a bunch of different voices, one of which is here today. People are mad that we talked to the Harris campaign. People are mad we're talking to you. People are mad, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But let's start with this.
It was Big Tent.
It's a big tent. It's a big tent. All right.
Dick Cheney in it.
It's got Dick Cheney in it. It's got Hasan Piker in it.
Yeah.
It's got Dan Osborne in it. It's got Seth Moulton in it.
Yeah. You know, Tent shouldn't maybe feature Dick Cheney in it, but everybody else I can have a conversation with.
Great. All right. Now, look, the main pastime on the left, other than being mad for the last few weeks, is everyone saying how right they were all along about Democrats being out of touch and bound to lose.
We don't have subtitles readily
Welcome to
available
Pod Save America.
yet.
I'm John
wait,
Lovett, and guest
it is.
hosting with me.
Okay, never mind. I was wrong.
I think like the bit of it
because of.
I think a month before.
All right. Now, look.
Dick Cheney.
Time on the left, other than being mad for the last few weeks, is everyone saying how right they were all along about Democrats being out of touch and bound to lose.
Arrest me. Sorry. So I sat at this chair. Well, maybe not at this chair, but I had the offline interview with John. I think a month before the election, and a lot of the concerns that I brought up to him, it seemingly came across as somewhat prescient, where people went back to the footage, and I've been seeing comments that were rather positive about okay, he said a lot of stuff there that was objectively correct seeming.
Yeah, I want to talk about one aspect of that, which is that you were saying, others were saying that, hey, like Trump going on Rogan, Trump going on Theo Von, like something is happening here, and we need to understand it. We need to address it. It's real. And I remember like my experience, it's like seared in my mind of Trump being on Joe Rogan because of how, like my path of understanding it, because what I saw first were a bunch of people taking clips and saying, wow, Rogan really didn't like Trump. Trump is a mess on this show. He comes across terribly. Rogan was like kind of giving Trump space to hang himself rhetorically. And then I watch it and I'm like, Trump did fucking great in this interview.
Yeah, he's very telegenic. That's the thing that like a lot of people, I guess, refuse to factor in for some weird reason is that, yeah, he definitely rambles on. He likes to call it the weave. And even Joe Rogan made fun of him for that a little bit in the process. But like, there is something to be said about a relatively telegenic person who is able to portray himself as, I like to call it honestly dishonest, where like everybody knows he's a bit of a scumbag, but he's your scumbag. And he's able to get that across to a lot of people. And I don't think that there is really anyone with that level of television presence on the Democratic Party front. I think like the most skilled orator in the Democratic Party's ranks in the last couple of decades was obviously Barack Obama. And outside of that, I think like in a lot of instances, purely from optics point of view, Democrats track as like technocratic, elitist, too serious about everything that they talk about. And there's certainly a lot of that on the Republican Party side as well.
I'm just asking.
And we've seen failed initiatives from establishment Republicans that tried to recreate the Trump phenomenon with the likes of Ron DeSantis, and that was a massive failure. But ultimately, I think this goes beyond podcasts. This is something that I've been talking about quite frequently. I know the podcast thing is like the most, like that's the one that got everyone's attention. But I said this on CNN last night that you can't really podcast your way out of this problem. Like having, there was that one tweet saying like, oh, we just have 100 Pod Save Americans, but they all have to look like Hasan. Like that's not how this works.
Oh, you think that one tweet might have been wrong? But the like I guess so. I agree with that. you know, it became this couple kind of like, I don't know, like.
Why are we
just-
wearing the same shirt? I don't know, dumbass. Think about it. Maybe it's because I filmed this fucking morning before I started the stream. Stop asking stupid questions, Chad. Jesus
had this
Christ.
devastating loss to Trump, and everybody's looking for these sort of little explanations that all feel like they just feel silly. Like, oh, we need a Joe Rogan of the left, and even saying like I don't even want to talk about how stupid that is anymore because even that has become stupid. But I do agree that like people are like, oh well, she should have gone on Rogan. All right, yeah, sure, I think so too.
That would not have changed the outcome of this election.
There's a larger problem to what you're getting at, which is like, why don't we have figures and where like we think they would do great on that show, and why is someone like Joe Rogan now, who was 4 years ago open to Bernie, now suddenly open to Trump? Like that's the deeper problem. Like you look at like successful Democratic messengers or progressive messengers over the last like decades, and you think, all right, well, Bill Clinton obviously was successful and he like ran against the Democratic Party in some way. Barack Obama did the same thing. Bernie does the same thing. AOC does the same thing. I'm not talking about on policy.
You don't mean it like also in the same direction of running against?
No, but running against the establishment in some way. And just saying, and the reason I connect them is because they all did something which is demonstrated that they were not part of the Democratic establishment, both like on policy and rhetorically, right? Like
Tim Pool's hairline. Thank you for the 25. Get this up.
That's what they all
Level
did.
2 hype train.
And I'm just wondering, like, what, like, the one place where like, I know you, like, find, you know, there's a place where there's like kind of an alignment of like the Seth Moulton critique of the Democratic Party and the lefty critique of the Democratic Party, which is just like it's fucking annoying and like kind of, I don't know, like pedantic in some way.
It's an incorrect interpretation, an incorrect autopsy to look back at a thing that the Democratic Party did not do at all and then say it's actually that reason. It's not anything that we did so far. It's not that we tack to the right over and over again, despite people like myself and many others saying like, don't do this. You're going to hemorrhage the base. You're going to hemorrhage the base of support. You are going to cut away at your turnout. You're going to cut across many different constituencies that you rely on to create an effective coalition. And it's a very dangerous gamble to assume that you can decouple a lot of these people in the suburbs, a lot of like white women specifically, away from the Republican Party and vote for you instead. I know that they're high propensity voters, but it doesn't matter. There's still plenty of low propensity voters that you have to rely on to win. And that's precisely what the Democratic Party did. They hyper-focused on these key constituencies, despite the fact that polls were seemingly deadlocked after $30 million of ad spend in key suburbs, right? Like it showed, at least I said this time and time again, it showed someone from the outside looking in that the message was not working. And you can have the best ground game possible. You can have, you know, hundreds of thousands of people all across the country door knocking. But if the top-down message that you're communicating is not resonating with people, then you're not going to be able to win an election. You're not going to have the effective turnout necessary to win this election. And that is precisely what happened. Now, does that mean that Trump's messaging was good? Of course not. It wasn't. It was actually pretty bad. And I would even go so far as to say the anti-trans ads were actually a distraction and not good. It was only effective in the DC bubble, I think, and the consultant bubble and the media class that saw those ads and were like, oh my God, this is an incredible ad. Like, they really ruined Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris had a silly answer to an ACLU questionnaire, okay? That just shows that she is not the most experienced politician. This was all the way back in, I believe, 2020, right? She literally had to drop out of the primary anyway at that time. That's one thing, okay? But that should not be a campaign killer. If you personally think that that's a campaign killer, then your campaign is weak. This message across the board should never be able to end a single campaign. Then Teflon Don is real. I mean, the man had the grab him by the pussy tape come out as the October surprise in 2016, and he still won. And since then, there's been a litany of different controversies, including but not limited to straight up undermining American democracy by doing January 6th. And yet people are still voting for him. And one must ask the question, why? And I think overall, the same exact problems that persisted in 2016 when the economy was seemingly very good, right? Especially as opposed to like the post-COVID economy and its recovery. People were still very frustrated with what was going on. The notion that in the wealthiest nation on earth, we have 600,000 people sleeping outside every night. The idea that
I think we should send every single person in the work camps and every single person in my chat, which I assume is coming from Discord. Sorry, every single person in Discord and every single person in my chat right now that is coming from Discord that's like, I bet you're drinking Coke right now in that glass and not iced coffee, to work camps. We should do that. You guys need to, you need to get to work. Okay, you're done. You're done. We need to purge the freaks. Discord right now. What the fuck is this?
We have the concept of medical bankruptcy is an insane phenomenon that doesn't exist in any other OECD nation. Like the fact that 40% of the American public or 60% of the American public doesn't have $400 in emergency spending. Like, these are all very real economic anxieties. I'm using that term specifically because it's one thing that people like to hyper focus on, that creates volatility, that creates instability, and it creates a base of angry people. And if the Democratic Party is not addressing that anger and addressing their material problems and earnestly telling them, like, we're going to fix that shit, okay? And the other side is looking at that anger and saying, we're going to channel your anger. You have every right to be angry. And you know who you should be angry at? Those who have less than you. You know who you should be angry at? The working poor, the homeless people that are doing crimes left and right, black and brown people, undocumented migrants that are doing incredible amounts of crimes. They're killing hundreds of thousands of Americans, and trans people. And the Democratic Party only cares about those people and they don't care about you. And that message resonates with a base of support, not because they are intrinsically evil. That message resonates with a base of support because they're angry. And one of the two major parties is not even remotely interested in addressing that anger and trying to tell them what the solution to that anger actually is and what the real problem is.
So I want to break that into kind of how we the Democratic brand, how we message and all. But also on the policy front. So Joe Biden wins. He tries to kind of build consensus with Bernie. He brings in AOC. He goes to the left on antitrust. He does the Inflation Reduction Act. He does a post-COVID relief bill. He cancels as much debt as he can legally, even though the court is trying to stop him. Before the last year, what my view of this is Joe Biden, this consensus Democrat, right? Actually to the right of the consensus for most of his career, kind of somebody that had to be kind of pulled to where the party was going, did something extraordinary, which is he adapted, he changed, he governed in a much more progressive way than I think probably than I expected. I hope that you expected.
Oh, absolutely.
And it seems as though whether it's because people didn't feel it or people didn't believe it or the way Democrats talk about policy isn't effective, it didn't seem to matter in terms of how people viewed the Democratic response to the economy, right? They were so angry about inflation. They were angry about a bunch of other issues, and it really didn't matter what Joe Biden said, what Kamala Harris said. They were held responsible. And I'm just wondering how you explain that, right? It seems as though Joe Biden tried to listen to this exact critique, and it didn't matter.
So yes and no. I do agree. There are plenty of things that Joe Biden did, like beefing up the NLRB and letting the FTC rain hell upon these monopolies. There's two issues there, though. One is, I think, something that you will agree with as well, that the Democrats don't campaign year-round in the same way that Republicans do on key issues, and they do have a massive communication problem. That could potentially be solved by having a more robust ecosystem and more collaboration with even the likes of yourself and maybe even someone like myself as well. And they need to always be on. They need to always be counter-messaging against the anti-immigration sentiment. I went back and looked at my commentary from February of 2021 when the story of the Customs and Border Patrol Haitian migrants getting whipped by horseback Customs and Border Patrol people, officers was in the news. And I remember talking about how the Republicans are going to keep hitting the immigrants are doing crime note over and over again because that's the one thing that they have. And it's built around a complete falsehood that undocumented migrants are responsible for incredible amounts of crime. It's not correct. There is no data to suggest this. The data actually shows the exact opposite. Undocumented migrants are your neighbors. They contribute to the economy in very meaningful ways, and they very rarely take anything in return. Why is the Democratic Party not pushing this counter narrative? And they never did. Instead of pushing that counter narrative, which is based in truth, and talk about how undocumented migrants are responsible for less crime per capita than natural born
I was on Fox.
U.S. citizens are.
For what? For CNN having me on, talking about the Joe Rogan of the left?
Or that fentanyl being trafficked across the U.S. borders are actually not coming in the knapsack of a otherwise law-abiding abuela, but instead it's coming from regular points of entry trafficked by American citizens. 90% of the people that are being apprehended for chemical compounds necessary for fentanyl or direct drugs that they're trafficking across the border are American citizens. This does not track with the narrative that people believe, because the narrative is dominated by the right on this issue. They should have been counter-messaging against that, and they should have been putting bills forward in defense of the moves that, for example, Governor Greg Abbott was engaging in Ron DeSantis. I said this even back then, that this is actually a fantastic opportunity for the federal government to show that there is a more tolerant approach, that one, they should have immediately pursued Governor Greg Abbott legally, and arrested him for human trafficking and tried to prosecute him for human trafficking. I don't care if it's a constitutional crisis or not. All of this stuff was insanely messed up, and the federal government dropped the ball. I think the Biden administration dropped the ball by not adding additional funds immediately, sending additional funds immediately to places like Chicago and New York, and to figure out a better way to transition a lot of these people and integrate them into the American labor force. And instead, they just got stuck in this like legal limbo for no reason.
So why is it that so Republicans say they sort of lay all these problems at the feet of undocumented immigrants? They say they're responsible for crime.
Yeah.
No, they're not. But there are obviously undocumented people. They're people, and some are committing terrible crimes, which they then exploit. But for the most part, these are people that not only are committing crimes at a low rate, but actually are unable to go to the police when they're victims of crime. Whether that's a domestic violence, they can't go to the police, or whether that's just sort of the quotidian mayhem of living in America, or a boss taking advantage of you. They can't go to the police, right?
Yeah.
Then they say, oh, well, they don't pay taxes. Actually, that's not true. They pay into Medicare, they pay into Social Security, and they don't get the benefits of it back. And then they say, well, they're driving up the cost of housing. I do not believe that undocumented people are the reason a house costs $450,000 where it used to cost $350,000.
Yeah, I didn't realize there were executives at BlackRock. The Guatemalan migrants are mass purchasing houses and making sure that everyone's a permanent renter. That's the point, though. But it's not a trans person that's your landlord. It's not an undocumented immigrant that's your landlord that's raising the cost of rent. It's not your manager is not an undocumented immigrant.
There are two big problems, though. One is there are a lot of people saying this, and it doesn't break through because there is this right-wing media system.
Is that man drinking Starbucks right now? Hey, notice how I'm not an antisocial weirdo and didn't actually yell at him over that and then nuke the entire conversation? You should probably also follow suit. Here's a lesson for many of you in the chat, many young, like-minded individuals who want to be activists. Okay? It's called Be Normal. That's how it works.
That puts out this one story. And the second problem is, Democrats really don't have trust on this issue with the people that they're trying to persuade to see it our way, which I think goes to the point you made before, right? Which is, why is it that Donald Trump can meander around the country rambling, committing what in any other era would be, if not like campaign ending,
This argument that a lot of people are defending immigrants and it's just the right wing making this narrative is such cope. Wait, what do you mean? No one is defending immigrants. That's the problem.
campaign harming, ridiculous statement.
Pick your battles is probably a better way to put it. No, be normal and pick your battles. You're right. Pick your battles, but also be normal. Be normal is very important.
And gaffes, sure. That he can basically be in like a strategic mess. But Kamala Harris has to hit every point exactly right. She says the wrong thing on The View, or there's a bad interview from 2020. Those things can be campaign ending. And I think to your point, it goes to something deeper, a kind of a lack of a core vision or motivating mission for the current Democratic Party.
Yeah, something that is an understandable, easy to communicate, simple policy that you can put your campaign around. So we agree on the messaging front a little bit, at least, or the asymmetry of how much right-wing media dominates the ecosystem, the media ecosystem in general, all the way from independent outlets down to traditional media, where, as far as I understand it, 73% now, I think, of all news watchers are watching Fox News. 73%. That's an insane percentage. That's an insane number, right? So outside of that, though, I think here is the disagreement that we will have. That while Joe Biden did a bunch of stuff that I agree was positive, it was simply not enough. And that was something that I was always very critical on as well. If you see a homeless person and you chuck them 2 pennies and they're sitting on the corner of the street, technically their material wealth improved by a decent percentage, but he's still going to be mad at you because you just gave him 2 pennies. Why doesn't the homeless person understand that their situation is much better? That is not an effective way to communicate to Americans that, no, you don't understand. Inflation is actually under control, that the economy is rebounding, even if it's objective truth, because most Americans don't understand what inflation is, and they don't understand that prices are not going to go down in that circumstance. And besides that, and I factor this is not just the vibe session communications, but I'm also talking about specifically even the IRA or many of these other parts of the legislative agenda that Biden put forth that was more progressive than I expected, more progressive than even the Obama administration in many respects. Mm-hmm. But one, they didn't do a good job of communicating any of those victories, in my opinion. They did not actually go to the media regularly to show these victories and to showboat and gloat a little bit. Two, a lot of that was also held up in gridlock because we didn't whip votes well enough within our own party. And I think that there was a lot of punishments that should have been dished out to the likes of Joe Manchin and the likes of Kyrsten Sinema, rather than offering a Green senator an opportunity to be a prominent fixture of the Democratic Party. I think that a lot more punishments should have been issued towards these people that use the moment in the spotlight to specifically play the role of a rotating villain in the Democratic Party, which has happened time and time again, all the way from Joe Lieberman to the Maggie Hassans of the world, the Kyrsten Sinemas, the Joe Manchins of the world, and the problem solvers caucuses within Congress in general. These guys need to get whipped into shape.
Yeah, I just like I wish I believed that. I just wish I believed that. Like,
no, but think about it.
But I just like I don't know how much more you could have gotten out of Joe Manchin or Kyrsten Sinema. Like Joe Manchin basically was telegraphing the whole time, like I'll walk away. And Joe Biden kept him in the tent. That got judges through. That got
Austin, I'll fight you if you order food from a BDS listed place. Why are you trying to trigger people in the fucking Discord? Sitting over there within striking distance. This motherfucker, bro. He like literally sat his ass down over there.
Act 3. Like I do not believe. Like I think we agree on a lot. I just don't believe that there is a version of the Joe Biden presidency that could have been more successful on legislative policy. I don't see that.
You're not going to appreciate what I'm about to say then.
Hit me.
Use the IRS and also the SEC and maybe even the FTC to investigate as to why Joe Manchin's brother owns a coal mine and whether there's a conflict of interest there. Investigate why Joe Manchin's daughter is selling pharmaceutical products to the state of West Virginia when Joe Manchin is directly at odds with any sort of bill that passes that would lower the cost of pharmaceuticals.
So you want the president
yes.
to politicize these agencies
yes.
and use them to go after people?
Because you want to know why?
Tell me why. Hey, tell me why.
Because they're doing it at the behest of not only the American people, their interests, but they're also, and this is probably going to frustrate everyone in this audience, but here's the thing that I get very frustrated about.
Wide range of listeners across a broad ideological spectrum.
Here's what really frustrates me.
What frustrates you?
The way the Democratic Party operates. They love norms. They love institutions. They love civility.
Mm-hmm.
They care about bipartisanship for the sake of bipartisanship, as though that is
There's
something
no
that
some do, some don't.
Yeah, sure. But for the most part, the broad communication coming out of the Democratic Party is that these are the things that they care about. These are the top line issues. We got to protect democracy. We got to preserve our institutions. The problem is the other side doesn't give a shit about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I want a Democratic Party that fights for me and others who are marginalized, other people that like desperately need help. And I know that the Republican Party is never going to do that. I'm not one of those guys who's like, oh, well, at least the Republicans are kind of listening to what I have to say or are communicating, channeling the anger that I feel. Like, I don't care. They're charlatans. They're significantly worse than the Democratic Party. I don't like the Democratic Party for their closeness to the Republican Party. I want them to be a party that actually fights for the working class, for all Americans unconditionally, regardless of ideology. And you can't do that through bipartisanship with an otherwise like hostile entity that is the Republican Party. And I think there is a lot of hypocrisy there, and and hypocrisy that people can see. Hypocrisy is the easiest thing that they can understand. You can't say that these guys are fascists, these guys are racist for 8 years for wanting to build a wall and then turn around and straight up tell Anderson Cooper in that town hall, well, maybe the wall is a good idea and I want to build it myself. I'm going to be the border czar. I'm going to be the border party. You can't do that. Americans look at that and go, so you're admitting that you were just lying for the past 8 years.
Well, it's like, again, though, it's like, I think actually, like you look at somebody like Dan Osborne, right, who ran so far ahead of the Democratic Party, ran as this economic populist, but one of the things he had to do to get there was kind of be tough on immigration. And actually, like, I think part of it goes back to like, if people felt like they knew, like in their bones, like Bernie Sanders being to me like the signal example, like, you know what Bernie's about. You know what he's for. You know what motivates him. You know what he cares about. Same thing for Trump. You know when there are issues he doesn't give a fuck about, and there's issues he really, really cares about. Immigration is one. Trade, right? Like, you know the things that like that have been anti-crime, whatever. That there are things that have been in Donald Trump's like kind of brain slowly losing plasticity that are like kind of solid in there.
Mm-hmm.
And for Bernie, we know why he's in politics, and that gives a politician the space to kind of challenge orthodoxies in the party or kind of run counter to it to signal to the people you need to signal to. Now, like, you say, oh, you can't call them fascist and then also work with them. Like, yeah, but at the same time, Joe, like, again, like, it's like, I just don't know what to do with this nuance. Joe Biden, like, I am glad Joe Biden did the Inflation Reduction Act and an infrastructure bill and a gun bill and the CHIPS Act and a bunch of other stuff. I'm glad he was able to do all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that he was able to use his kind of like moderate brand, whatever, to kind of bring people in and get some stuff done. Like, I don't think the country is better off if he didn't do those things. So, like, you describe it as hypocrisy, like, it's compromise. Like, politics requires compromise.
The Republican Party rarely ever compromises. They're uncompromising. You only have to beat them.
But that's not
And the
true,
only
though, right?
time-
Like I agree with that on Trump, but that's just not true. Like they did compromise, right? They like there are plenty of people on the Republican side that were furious at Republican senators for going along with some of these Biden bills, right? Like those are people that did compromise.
Yeah, there is a million examples, however, of Republicans that are obstructionists that I'm sure you
Yeah, of
also
course.
love presenting, that go back to their town halls and lie about all the money that they brought back home
Absolutely.
from the bills that they voted against. So ultimately, we now know that political polarization is set in a way that never really existed in American history until the last couple of decades, right? I think that parties originally were more geopolitically focused on their immediate needs, like statewide needs. So you saw this dramatic shift, and now the Republican Party, especially with Mitch McConnell under the Obama administration, showcased that like permanent obstructionism is not punishable, and that gridlock is always considered the administrative party's problem. If there's any sort of gridlock, it's the fault of the leadership, and Americans hate gridlock.
Yeah.
That's kind of the reason why I was talking about Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, because there was a massive moment where like they actually ended up protecting the Republican Party because they were never going to vote for these bills anyway.
Pod Save America has a negative impact on our polity. Prove me wrong. Okay, dude. Again, going back to pick your battles and be normal. I know we're supposed to be civil, but he's so casual about immigration and anti-crime, i.e. killing innocent civilians, innocent people. Like, first and foremost, okay, I don't think it's appropriate to assume that the Pod Johns are in favor of, killing migrants. Okay, that's not correct. Number two, okay, I talk to people who are infinitely more disagreeable than the Pod Johns on a regular basis. Okay? And I offer them the same charity when I have a normal conversation with them, a normal discussion with them. There are polite disagreements in this conversation that spanned over 2 hours. Okay? You need to calm the fuck down. The job here is not to own my interlocutor in the marketplace of ideas. Like, I do not consider the Pod Johns to be my enemy. Okay? Especially when they are offering a platform to someone such as myself and being rather kind, allowing me to talk my shit. Okay? Calm down.
Anyway, and now the entire conversation was about like madness within the Democratic Party's caucuses, like, oh, they can't get their ducks in a row, right? Like that was genuinely frustrating to me, because it's like if you would whip your votes immediately, then you could showcase that the Republican Party is standing in the way of progress. But that's just like, that is legislative minutia. What is more important to talk about is broad, sweeping legislative changes or a agenda that might even come across as bold and radical in the interest of the American working class. Joe Biden said he wanted to do the public option. Everybody knew that wasn't real. He never talked about it after. He used the public option. He slotted that in the primaries when the party was primed to the Bernie left, and everyone was like, trying to communicate their own populist version of what Bernie was doing. And Joe Biden won the primaries and effectively tabled the discussion about healthcare. This is still a major problem, regardless. Like, yes, negotiating pharmaceutical prices and ensuring that insulin prices are capped at $35, which is now going to be looking like a Trump victory when he's in office. It doesn't matter. It's still good for the American people. So that's great. But like, that is good, but that's not enough.
Yeah.
And I think that when you don't do that, when you have this very technocratic, third-way neoliberal approach, but you sprinkle in a little bit of like anti-corporate, anti-billionaire populism that Joe Biden certainly did, it's not, you're a rudderless ship. You're not communicating effectively like what you are about. And when you don't have a North Star that every single person can point to and say, this is what the party is about, your enemies can portray you as whatever they want. And that's why the anti-trans ads are even remotely effective, because you can make the Democratic Party look clownish and inconsistent and even silly and hyper-focused on whatever key issues there are, because one, they rarely ever focus on universality in programs. Everything has to be means tested, which I think is both on the policy front and on the politics front garbage. Focus on universal programs, because that way you can cut across every single group, and you can disproportionately target marginalized populations, black populations, brown populations, and trans people. These people do not exist in a vacuum. They're not magical, mystical beings that are not are not experiencing the shocks of the market, or they still have to pay rent. They still need workplace protections. They still need, they still need the cost of medicine to go down, right? So universal programs capture the attention of all Americans, including this majority white, angry population that is finding themselves in the throes of the Republican reactionary movement. And so they need to do that. And if they don't do that, then the subtle populism of the right is always going to be the only game in town, and they're going to be able to present themselves as anti-establishment while they have billionaires parading around all the campaign stops, like Elon Musk trying to do that X logo every time he jumps, like a child.
God,
I hate Elon Musk.
That is the trick, though, man. They're like, it does speak to like just how far, like, one place where. So if you listen to the Harris campaign's advisors talking to Dan Pfeiffer, I know you did, and you had problems with it. But one place where they agreed is that, like, hey, like, everyone's saying, oh, this trans ad, like, it actually might not have been their most effective ad.
Not.
And they were trying to, and what Quentin Folk said was that, like, they were actually really trying to target it to get at black men. And it looks like maybe that didn't work, right? Like, that's sort of, we'll see, like, we're going to get more data. But, like, the point that the ad makes is just that, like, Democrats are weird. Democrats are strange, right? And like they use trans people as a cudgel to do that. But like to the larger point, you have billionaires, just literally the wealthiest man in the world.
The top seven donors this election cycle all donated to the Republican Party, and they were donating like $100 million, $200 million. Like it was crazy.
How do you think about the fact that in right-wing media right now, and like right-wing adjacent media, they are managing to be both the party of the wealthiest oligarchs in the world and the kind of traditional moral set trying to impose a specific way of living on people, and anti-establishment, kind of rebellious politics?
It's Nazi Germany, straight up. It's just pure fascism. That's all this is. It worked. It worked 100 years ago, and it's seemingly working right now. And it's not just the United States of America. It's all across Western Europe. The only country that bucked the trend of the incumbency disadvantage seemingly was Mexico. Mm-hmm. One must ask the question why an old doddering man who was still, relatively telegenic, even though he believed in wood elves, duendes, was able to get a tremendous amount of popularity and then become the transition candidate that actually passed the torch to a younger woman, Claudia Sheinbaum. I'm of course talking about Mexico. I'm talking about AMLO is the old man. Claudia Sheinbaum was his spiritual and ideological successor in the Morena party. Why did that happen? Why was AMLO so popular? And why is Claudia Sheinbaum also incredibly popular? Why did Claudia Sheinbaum win the election with even larger margins of victory than AMLO did? It's because they expanded the welfare state, they increased minimum wage, and they made a whole bunch of decisions that genuinely improved the material conditions of a lot of people in Mexico. And that's something that people will never forget. We talked about the black vote for a second. As far as voter patterns goes, older black populations, like older black voters as a voting bloc, is a more reliable voting bloc for the Democratic Party than younger black voters are. One must ask the question why. That is because people remember the last time the Democratic Party did something for black people, did something bold, expended social and political capital for black people. And that is something that people do not forget. If you give people things, they will not forget that. That's why there was a lot of dummies who thought, oh, Trump's back, we're going to get some stimmy checks. It's not going to happen, but they still remember that because they think, oh yeah, Trump gave us stimmy checks. Mm-hmm. I mean,
well, Joe Biden expanded. I mean, like, I
know.
And by the way, like, I'm not pushing back on any of this because I don't like agree with the sentiment. I just like, I am trying in the weeks after this election to just question these sort of statements, because then it's like, well, Joe Biden expanded the child tax credit, made a huge difference for millions of children.
No, absolutely. The expansion of the child tax credit was fantastic, but it didn't continue. It was so successful and it didn't continue. Like, do you think American people know why that happened?
I don't.
Who's at fault if American people don't know why that happened?
I think some of it is Democrats, some of it is the mainstream media, some of it is the right-wing media, and some of it, by the way, is the left. It is the media of the left, right? Like the first couple of years, there's been so many moments where my great frustration, I think, in the way politics is talked about is often people do not want to do the work of figuring out who's actually responsible, right? Like Republicans will shut down
Don't worry, I addressed the left point as well.
Government and mainstream sources will say Washington gridlock continues, right? Or Joe Biden will be stymied in some way, or Barack Obama will be stymied.
Now?
Why did Barack Obama?
Wait, what? Fuck the USA. Fuck the USA. Let's go. You suck now. You suck now. Shut up, Dankus Canadian. Enjoy the fucking tariffs, okay? We are going to invade Canada, man.
Obama do this? Why didn't Barack Obama do that when he had a majority, right? And said, well, because it's actually, you know what? In the Senate, having 49 votes to get rid of the filibuster and having 50 votes to get rid of the filibuster is a difference between like, doing a ton of shit and not being able to do anything. That's not the fault of 49 people. That's the result of one person. Yeah.
Can I bring up something really quick? This conversation that you and I are having, have you ever heard a Republican have this conversation?
Well, what do you mean? Like Republicans don't talk this way?
Have you ever heard a Republican go, sorry, we couldn't get this done because we simply did not have the votes? Is that ever like a real significant front-facing public conversation that the Republicans have?
I mean, I feel like you want the answer to be no, but like, do you think the answer is yes?
I can't recall a time. Maybe no. I'm asking you.
No, I think on their side, like they have over the last decade slowly but surely gotten rid of the people who are pointing out the actual things that stand in their way, right? They went after Kevin McCarthy. They went at and sometimes that works. Sometimes that leaves them like pretty well stuck. I mean, like Donald Trump was president for 4 years. He wanted to repeal the Affordable Care Act. He didn't have the votes, right? There was a big conversation about why he didn't have the votes. That there have been the Republican base furious with spending bills that were passed, right?
What did Donald Trump do after when John McCain struck down the Affordable Care Act?
What did he do?
He took out the individual mandate regardless. He did.
Well, he did what the same thing a Democratic president would do. Do as much as you can legislatively, and when it fails, use your executive power, which is what Biden has done on student loans and a bunch of other issues.
Yeah, so my point is, he still got the most significant aspect of his, agenda across, and in the process, he utilized the bully pulpit to laser John McCain nonstop and effectively bully John McCain in a way that I've never seen a Democratic president turn around and communicate about Joe Biden. I'll hear it about the left, about how they're naysayers, how they're spoilers. I never hear it about conservative Democrats. And I think it's the coalition.
We talk about that.
It's the coalition that you want to have, is my point. And I think Democrats, win or lose, want to win by their own like established policies and the way that they want to win. And they're willing to lose if necessary, as long as they still maintain the overarching attitude that they have.
I just think that is...
Or maybe they're just bad and wrong.
Well, I just think I think people need to be persuaded. I think people need to be...
Biden student loan, this man's Delulu. I mean, he did abolish a bunch of student loans with the executive power. He did do that. He should have gone further, but he did do that.
Persuaded. Like David Plouffe talking to Pfeiffer yesterday. He's like, look, you go to a swing state. You got a certain percentage of liberals